Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, LinkedIn. I have an echo.
Wonder if it's John. It's John.
He's here. John is here, but I've just moved him into the studio. He's setting up. He's sitting down. He's waving like mad. He's not on screen though. Right. Okay. So sound check. That means you've got to speak, John.
Mary had a little lamb.
His fleece was white as snow. Right. Okay. That's sound check over. We'll be live in.
The bell rang literally as I clicked in.
Yeah, we heard.
So my parcel's delivered. So.
Okay. I've forgotten something. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Blabbing for Britain. I need to edit that. It's 327, isn't it, this week?
I think so.
Okay, just update that. So welcome to the show.
You're very dark, Pete. What's going on?
I don't know. Oh, I've got my light on.
You're not dark now. So was your light not shining at you? Oh, you've gone dark again.
Right. That's the line, right? It's light in my face.
Well, you're dark, mate.
Yeah.
Is that the same to you, Stephen?
It is, yeah. You're very dark, and
Any better?
no. Switch the room lights on.
That's better.
I've turned off the camera that I spent about 50 quid on. The light.
No comment.
One of Stephen's.
I bet you saw somebody advertising it on Amazon.
Yes.
It was me. It's me. The light. You just put the light on your monitor and it shines down on you, and that's it. Job done. Yeah, at least that's the theory. Say good morning to Corinda.
Let's go on with the show.
Hey people. Right, okay. Right. Now Corinda again, and then we'll go into it. I bought Be Live TV on AppSumo. Very good. Okay. Right. The Jubilee. How was it for you? Did Paddington steal the show?
I never watched any of it. I did go to a Jubilee party in the afternoon.
What was that like?
It was all right. It was in somebody's back garden. It was Tom's wife's parents who only live up the road. So
yeah,
we went there. There were some great cakes.
Well, I was on my bicycle going to my bike meeting at the weekend there, and I seen one Union flag hanging from a window, one and one only. It's just though there was nothing happening in Scotland.
Yeah, well, you know, you're funny people up there, aren't you?
Some people are funny. But, no, a lot of people are actually scared now when up here to say they're a unionist or anything like that. You know, it just causes so much bitterness on like I said, the Facebook pages. It's bitterness and horrible. You know, better just to keep to yourself now. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is.
Sign of the times. We didn't actually we saw television, but we didn't actually get to a party or anything. Missed out on that bit. And over to Corinda, and Corinda has got some news. So that's some news for you guys. US financial regulators threaten. Oh, it's news for us to talk about. Threaten to delist Chinese companies, but will begging compromise to save their American dream. That's a headline from somewhere.
Yeah.
Compromise what? That's the question.
I don't know. I mean,
what is he saying that the Chinese or Beijing will compromise without knowing what they're going to compromise on.
Fair point. Fair point. Yeah. Okay. And over to Fonz.
Yes,
Seeing
I
as that
noticed it yesterday. It looked like a fireplace when he was stood up.
It's not right. It's not a green screen because I can actually do that, and there's no problem at all. I was watching Grant Saunders, who also uses BeLive and is an Amazon insider, and he had a wall behind him. I thought that's a great idea. How has he done it? So I went off to Amazon, as you do, and I searched for photography backgrounds, and this is actually a backdrop, $15. And what you can do, I'll just show you how it's done. If I go here and here, load up the software. The backdrop is actually draped over my green screen. You know, I've always had a green background, but never a green screen background. But the green screen is physically there. If I zoom out and zoom out again and go to 90 degrees, you can actually see what my office looks like now.
And that's why when you were stood up, I thought it was a fireplace.
All right, no, it's
because I did watch it yesterday.
It's a shape of a green.
Is it an oval one? Is that like an oval one?
No, it's just because it's hung. It's a square one, but it's hung over a green screen. I've folded the corners in.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So as far as the effect is concerned,
by zooming in and losing the edges.
Exactly so. Yeah.
You look like it's a real wall.
Right. Thank you.
I'm using XSplit just now, and I've no green screen behind me.
No, we know.
I'm using XSplit as well.
And there's no
green screen behind you either.
No, but what I have done, you can just see it blinkingly. I've put a piece of green cloth over the headrest on the chair, and it makes a world of difference.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Comment coming in from Fonz. Look, no hands. Hopefully in a second. That's cool. Like it. Very good. Yeah. Just go off to Amazon. Photography backgrounds. I've got another wall on its way to me, which is more colourful than this one. And then I saw looked like Fiji to me, a beach scene. I'm going to get that. And then there was a Wild West scene as well, a Wild West town with tumbleweed blowing down the street. So I'm going to try that as well. So I've got 4 different backdrops. Because the thing is, on Amazon, I can't. On Amazon, the problem is with a green screen, it's simple and straightforward. If I want to show a product on screen, then it gets lost in the background. If you guys want to try it, if you just pick up your phones, you'll see that when you put them on the screen, we can't see them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to ask you, what size backdrop have you got behind the bricks? Because I've got one that's very large here. I need to get a screen that can go up to the height I want it to, rather not the height it's got to go to. You with me?
Yeah. You can get you can get a stand off Amazon.
Didn't you buy a roller banner, Pete?
Sorry?
Didn't you buy a green roller banner?
I've got a rolled up banner here, but it touches the roof. It's too big. Just that's slightly too big. I'm wanting one that I can put behind me, but not as tall as that.
Yeah. Well, we have the same problem in the showroom at flipping out my kitchen customer, Cater Equipment. And what we've done is we've screwed a hook into the ceiling and hung the roller banner from the hook and just let it hang down instead of using the bar at the back.
Yeah, take a picture of that. I've been thinking.
I ain't going to take a picture because I've got no need to go all the way over to Polesworth. And at the price of $192 for diesel, which is what it costs locally, I ain't going there without a really good reason.
You know something? I said to Andy the other day, how much does it take to fill up that van? And he went, £130. I said, stop using it. But give him his due. When Nathan goes, he's off Thursday, Friday, he's actually taking Nathan's van now, which is good thinking, without me even asking. And I filled up my van. It was £70 and I stopped filling it up. I says, what's going on here?
I filled mine up with a quarter tank already in, and it came to £98.85p.
Frightening.
That's 3/4 of a 60-litre tank.
It's going up every day, isn't it?
It went up tuppence yesterday.
Yeah.
They told us why this is happening.
Well, the stupid thing is the trade price. What do they call it? There is a proper name for it. It's gone down, but it's got to work its way through the system before we will gain the benefit from it.
The thing, like most commodities, everything's bought in advance.
And the same applies to gas. Gas has gone down quite a bit, but we aren't going to see any benefit from it because it will take 8 months to work through the system.
Yeah, and out of Fons, and Fons is saying, got to pop off, but good seeing you. Good seeing you as well, Fons. Take care.
Pop off. That's a
Pop
very
off.
Russian name, isn't it? Pop off.
That's the Cambridge term for I've got to go and do something.
Bugger off, go, yeah.
Okay, I suppose that the next topic, petrol, just is to discourage people to actually from using cars as well.
Yeah,
that's the way it's actually heading. Right, okay. Now the other event of the week on Monday morning, the 1922 committee announced that they had 54 votes. Boris said, let's get it over and done with, and they had a vote on Monday night between 6 and 8 o'clock, and the result of the vote was 211 votes. 211 votes for Boris and 148 against. 41% of the Conservative MPs said Boris should go. And he stood up the following day and said, I won.
Well, he did.
Oh, he did, because he got the majority.
But there's a thing to realise here, because the same happened with Margaret Thatcher, is that of the 211, 160 have got government jobs. So in other words, they've been gifted government jobs by Boris Johnson, and if he goes, they lose money because they might not get back in.
That's what happens. That's what government's all about. That's what the whips are there for. Even the Labour whips, even the Liberal whips, they say, if you don't toe the line, your job's gone. You understand that? Right. So the difference between Boris and Maggie Thatcher, the grey suits told her, Mrs. Thatcher, I think you should resign. That would be better for the party. If you think Boris Johnson's going to resign, you've got another thing coming. He will push through. He will get he will get payback for those voted against him. That's what will happen. They'll go before he will. That's what I reckon.
It's just, but from a realistic point of view, his credibility is shot. Really, I mean, we'll know in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks today, 23rd of June. There are 2 by-elections. One, I'll make a prediction now. One is going to be won by the Labour Party, and the other one is going to be won by the Lib Dems.
The local elections mean nothing in the long run. It's the big day. What you should do is now call a general election.
I don't think he dare.
I do. Call everybody's bluff and say, let's see where you are. And he's going to get
148 people told him to bugger off.
Yeah, but he got the majority. He got majority rule. Do you think if Labour or Liberal had the same situation, do you think they would say, we got beat, even though they got the majority vote? Do you think Sir Keir Starmer would resign just like that? He's hanging on as it is. We're all watching to see, even if he gets a caution, it means he's actually done something wrong, and we'll see if they resign, even with a caution. And it's such a shame that it's all down to the local police. how do you think they'll feel if they say, Sir Keir, you're getting fined? Do you think there's manipulations behind the scene? With a Labour...
You can say that, Peter. I couldn't possibly. I don't know. I don't think we ever know the truth, Peter. But all I can say is that Margaret Thatcher resigned, as you said, because the grey suits came out, and Mrs. May went because she couldn't govern the party.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in the same boat. I mean, if it only takes, in order for the government to be defeated, it takes 40 MPs to vote for the opposition.
Yeah.
That's it. Simple. 40 out of 148. Just cross the floor, vote against the government, and the government will. It's in a situation where if it loses several votes, then it's not governing, is it? That's what I think is going to happen. Is that on certain bills, which are contentious, yeah, and the 40 don't agree, they will just cross the floor. The government will get defeated. The government gets defeated 3 or 4 times. It's got to go, or he's got to go.
I don't think he'll go.
I don't think he wants to go. I don't think it'd make any real difference if he did, apart from the fact that it's just being seen to be done.
I would say, if you want to do that to the party, you go ahead. If you want Labour in next time, you carry on like that. Yeah, that's what to do. Yeah, and you'll be the responsible ones for Labour getting in.
If you want Labour back in, just keep Boris in. I mean, Labour and Lib Dems are just happy at the moment. Things could not be any better. They can sit back for 2 years, let Boris Johnson explode and implode. They've nothing to lose.
It's their turn to come in, and everybody says you're not running the country. I'm sick of it. I really am. I don't care anymore. I really don't. You know, let them get on with it. Let them have their parties and their drinking champagne and their cheap drinks in Westminster, man. Carry on, just carry on what you do. Because if it's Labour, Liberal, or whoever, it doesn't matter. You'll cover up for each other when things aren't going well. I've got this on you. Well, we've got this on you. It's just a game to them. It's a game. A game. It really is.
Okay. Now, I'm going to show a picture now, just to change the topic totally. I never thought that I would be on a poster advertising something.
Right.
And all that's true. I said that back in July. The quote was given back to me, and that's being used to market Be Live on Amazon. So there you go. Even at the edge of, you can still be part of a marketing campaign. I think that's tremendous, just from my own personal point of view.
Well, do you know someone? I phoned a guy I used to work with, George. I phoned him up and I says, George, just had a quick chat before we come on here. I says, how old are you, George? Now, he does marketing, internet marketing.
Yeah.
I says, George, how old are you? And he's setting up an over 50s group. He says, I'm still young. And I said, George, tell me your age. He's 75.
It's all in the mind, Peter. It really is all in the mind.
He says, I have no interest in retiring, Peter. I'm still making money. And what else is there? And he says, you're 62, you tell me. And he says, you're so full of life and things like that. And it gives me inspiration to keep going. Because I know about George. I remember when he came into it and he knew nothing. He's written a book and everything now. Yep. And writing that book has done him a lot of good. A lot of good, you know. It's good luck to George, you know. 75.
It's no age, is it now?
No.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah. So, is there something happening in Ukraine still? You never see it much now, do you?
I think we said before, yes, there is. We've said before, Peter, that basically it's eventually will get out of the news. Yeah. And that's basically what's happened. It's still, I mean, as you know, I read The Guardian, and the Guardian has a section every day about what's going on in Ukraine. And at the moment, the Russian eastern advance is progressing, and the Russians now have 20% possession of 20% of the country, but the Ukrainians are defending, and they're still asking for weapons. Yeah. And the USA have said yes. I think we've said yes. And even Germans have said yes. So it's ongoing. I mean, it's because the Ukrainians have an army which does the country credit, Peter.
Yeah. There's quite a few people from the UK been killed, you know.
Yeah.
Two of them are getting threatened with execution in Russia because they're part of the mercenaries, they call them, and basically they've said, well, your Chechens will be killed too because they're in the same position. So it's all getting tit for tat. But I'll tell you something, I watch this girl on TikTok, and I know one day she's going to disappear. Did you know that Russia's now declared LGBTQ, or whatever it's called at the end, illegal? They've just declared.
No, I didn't. I thought they sort of tolerated the gay community.
Yeah, well, that's what she was saying yesterday. I just happened to come across her. She's a brave young lady, 24-year-old, and every time she comes on, and I just love. She's now to my KGB agents that watch me, and I know when I use a woman, it's great. But one of our friends has disappeared. One of them, they meet up. They use a VPN, you know, and they're going live, talking to the world. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Good luck to her. And I went in to get I'm going to pick up trousers today. And I went in and I says, the two ladies working in their shop, work a really busy business. Where you from? And she looked at me and says, we do not like to talk about where we come. I says, you're Russian then? Yes. Scared to say the Russian in Aberdeen.
Yeah. Well, that shouldn't be, should it?
No. You can't help your leaders, you know. They're now living, their country is now living in quite a bit of a dictatorship. So you can't speak out, you know. It's a shame.
Right. I'm just asking Google how many Russians are in the UK. Just give me a second.
It's quite a few, bit.
36,000.
36.
36,000. Wait a minute. In 2020, they think 73,000 Russians living in the UK from the 2020 census.
I've met quite a few here. I don't know. Can they become citizens?
Yeah, I mean, they follow the normal process. I would think they can apply.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Right. Apply rhymes with fly. What's happening to our airports? Why is there so much bother?
Because there's not enough people to do the things. That's the reason they've been blaming at Birmingham Airport.
Not enough staff.
People waited 3 to 4 hours to collect their bags off the carousel last Saturday.
Yeah, so it's across the spectrum. It's from pilots through to stewardesses through to ground crew.
Well, they did pay them off. They paid them off, and they've went, wow. Do you know something? I'm at home every night. I've got a decent job. Some of them probably get decent jobs.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm never going back to that. My friend's an engineer auditor, right? Quality assurance. He says, I don't think I could go back to that. He does about 2 days with Tesla's driving, 2 or 3 days. And he's a student. He gets his council tax reduced and everything. And he's just trained to be a sound engineer. He says, I'm not going back to that. So, and there's a lot of people like that. I'm not going back, and they're running out because nobody's been trained. Nobody's been.
Well,
yeah.
yeah, there's security as well, isn't there? You've got to
Yeah.
go through a series of security checks, and that's taking 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've been caught out. They were quick to dismiss them or whatever. One of these things. They didn't know how long it was about, but I know people in the oil industry. One guy's he sits in he got his own business set up, and he sits in a lawnmower thing, doing big estate gardens and everything.
Yeah.
I'm not going back to live 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off in an installation.
Yeah.
He says, I'm home every night and I'm enjoying it here. So that's what's happening. That is what's happening, you know. And they're screaming to train young lads here. And that's why, just an update on me, I had about an advert to get someone Glasgow, Edinburgh areas. And I just had a chat with a guy last night, used to be in pest control. And I hammered him with questions. He says, and I thought, I'd expect you to know that, but it tells me the other firm didn't train you properly. And he says, I like the sound of that. He says, because they didn't. But you will be with me. So there you go.
Indeed. I think the other thing is the airlines were caught by surprise by how quickly the numbers of people actually who want to travel have gone up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, there's been a surge of people wanting to just fly away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But surely they should have been monitoring that.
You would have thought so, Peter. Yeah.
We're planning.
And they reckon it's going to carry on. I mean, we're not. This is a semi-peak period, but the July, August, September period is going to be worse. It's not going to get better, is it?
I bet you they put their prices up.
Oh, everybody's pulling the prices up. Have you not noticed it in the high street? Shopping, going to Morrison's or Tesco's or even Sainsbury's. Anywhere. Prices have gone up.
Especially.
I am noticing a difference when I used to go into Lidl. I'm going to Lidl's quite a lot in that, and I said, how much? It's all looking at. And it's significant. Well, Tesco's is up about 25%.
Yeah.
But they're still making a lot of money. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
What do you reckon about another? There's any news in Berlin? The guy with the car.
Yeah,
I haven't seen anything on the Bieber anyway.
No, I mean, this is one of Angelica's main points, that things get reported in the German press that don't get reported in England. And the problem is that they can't possibly report every single country in the world in 30 minutes. I saw it, Peter. What do you think?
There is something on the BBC, but it's 11 hours old.
Right. So have they said who it was or etc.?
Oh, they know who he was. He's got mental health problems.
Oh, mental health. Always come out with that one. They always come out with mental health, no matter who it is. Mental health. That's a good cover up, that I would say. Yeah.
Apparently, John Barrowman was close to the situation.
Yeah, seen that. Do you know what his religion is or anything like that?
He's dual nationality or something, isn't he? This bloke.
Yeah. If it was a white person, right wing, it would have been all over the newspapers. That's all I'm saying.
29-year-old man arrested at the scene. A teacher was killed and 14 school children were injured, and another teacher was injured as well.
When's all this going to stop? You know?
I don't know. They say she died on the spot.
Yeah. Warum?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest sort of possibly preventable killings are in the States, aren't they? In the schools. I mean, the number of shootings that have been in the US this year is just incredible. Because we only hear about the main ones. We don't hear about every event, just as we were saying.
Yeah, but see, it's a different country. You've got to look at it from a different. It's a country. There's as many guns out there. If you're a legal citizen, you've got to protect yourself because all the baddies have got guns. You know, so that's the difficulty of it.
A vicious circle.
Yeah. So if you live in an area that's happening, because if all the decent citizens get their guns taken off, guess who's going to have the guns? The baddies will come in and put a gun to you. Hey man, you can't do anything. I'll shoot you. Yeah, okay, take everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right, what's happening in Solihull, John?
Oh.
The sun is sort of shining. My parcel was 120 mixed seedlings of cabbages, cauliflowers, and sprouts. So they're going to have to get planted this afternoon. So that's what's happening in Solihull today. They came from Cornwall, the Cornwall Cabbage Company.
Ah. And Peter, what's happening in
Portland is I had 120 odd plants which I'd grown here, started off, kept inside, then hardened off in the cold frame. I took them down the allotments on Saturday. I covered them up with the net. And on Monday night, I went down to plant them, and a pigeon had got under the net and pecked the lot clean.
Oh dear. Well,
so I had to buy some. And I'll tell you what, they were very well priced. Much better than buying them from a stores. So they charge £3.49 for 14 plants. Haven't seen what they're like yet, but I will be opening it after we finish this.
So the big news for me in the Stewart household, right, is, well, I'll turn that way. Sheila's going out to buy some polytunnels to do some growing of vegetables, etc. in my garden, because she loves all that. I love watching her do it. Yeah. So,
but now, you'll enjoy the benefits of it, Peter.
So, yeah, is the polytunnel going in the back or the front garden?
It'll be in the back.
Which is basically slabs, isn't it?
It's slabs, yeah. She was thinking of putting in some green turf as well. No, artificial turf in an area, just to brighten the place up a bit.
Well, I've got artificial turf down the middle of one poly, and it's got slabs underneath it. And it's now in the bin because it kept slipping and I kept sliding.
So tomorrow I'm off on my £1 journey. I'm going away down to Glasgow, and I'll be getting a bike hired. I'm living 3.5 miles out of Glasgow this time because the prices have more than trebled in the city centre. So I'm going to an Airbnb, and I'll be bringing my helmet that I got off of Amazon, the fold-up helmet, which has been excellent. And I'll be cycling about the city, but I'm going to a place called Partick. It's got
Is that where Thistle are from?
Yeah, Partick Thistle, nil. Yeah,
see, we do have a little bit of knowledge of Scotland, not a lot. And
it's just off Byres Road, I'm told. And I'm going into like a skyscraper thing and a flat, and I can look out and see the whole of Glasgow seemingly. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm told Partick has got quite a vibrant high street as well. So that's what I'll be doing. That's my new way of chilling. I like doing that. And then, of course, I'll be hitting the karaoke bars till 2, 3 in the morning and cycling back. That's right. So Stephen's out. Oh, Stephen's back. Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah. So I've got to tell you, Do you know that guy comes on and talks about travel? What do you call him? He's very well known. I can't remember his name. He comes on and talks about travel and passports and going to different countries. He suggested to everybody, why don't you go on the very efficient bus journeys? I will not go on a train again as long as I can go Aberdeen, Glasgow by bus. It's much better. Much better.
But
Really good.
how long does it take compared to the train?
It's not all about same time as a train, but without. I mean, the buses I'm going, I've picked the buses 9:15. There's no stops. It's straight through Aberdeen to Glasgow.
Right.
Yeah, and on the way back, it's Glasgow, Aberdeen, no stops. Great toilets on the buses and everything, you know. And
I'm not very good on a bus for a long journey.
oh, I love it. Yeah.
Angelica's mother and aunt still are with us until Monday, and we've been going out and about. We've been we went to a rock. Angelica's son Martin was playing in Ramlide on Saturday night, so we went to a rock pub, and they sat down, 284 and 82-year-olds, and they sat through the whole an hour and a half of loud music, but they had a secret. They took out their hearing aids and they couldn't hear anything.
Yeah,
I did watch Click Clack.
Oh, good. Yeah, I mean it was a brilliant night. Great food, great company, and it went very well. They're very professional. They're actually playing again. Rammstein are here in 3 weeks' time, I think, and they're playing Coventry at Coventry, and Martin and his group are actually playing the night before, sort of a prelude, and they're going to do their thing, and then the real thing comes the day after. But Martin's actually in two bands, and the first one is Bramlide, they're going to play, and then the second band is Fleisch. So he, as a guitarist, will just stay on stage. Yeah, don't think he'll change his makeup, and he will play. He's playing 2 gigs in one night. Incredible. Okay. Anyway, that's not mine. Was the transport point. With them being over here, then we obviously now got 4 people in the car instead of 2, which means that I can't sit in the front. And if you've ever tried to get out the back of a Peugeot, it's not easy. Yeah, I've got a technique now. It's taken me 6 days to actually be able to get out in one movement. But I hate being in the back of a car. I really do. Because Angelica's got Angelica's got a seat pushback, so the only thing I can see is through the window at the side.
Mm-hmm.
Celia's got a sporty Kia Picanto Chili. It is very, very sporty, fancy wheels and all that sort of stuff. But it hasn't got any back doors. It's only 3-door. And there's no way you'll ever get me in that back seat because you've got to slide the seat forward, lift. Oh. But we've had it for, it's going to be 7 later this year. And we've had it for 5.5 of the 7 years. Nobody's ever been in the back seats.
I'm not surprised.
No, we've just never had the cause to use the back seats. Yeah.
No. Right, over to Corinda, who's either comments are coming through late or he's catching up. And Corinda is saying
it's on.
Is comment working because they've been committing? No, it stopped for a bit, Corinda. It's back now. It's a red icon. Oh, right. Okay. Must be a Facebook thingy. What's it? Because we're not going to.
So, Peter.
Yes.
Do you know who Grace Dent and flipping heck? Do you know you have that mental block? Coloured chef. Can't think of his name now.
Ainsley
Harriott.
Yeah.
They did. Their show last weekend was Aberdeen.
I know, and they had the buttery. They had the Aberdeen roll, the buttery. Yeah, I've seen that. I can't remember. He says it's like a squashed croissant or something like that. And so that was it. But I need to tell you something about, really, I can't believe this, right? A couple of weeks ago, I went and told my cycling friends, and I don't know about people listening in here, but I absolutely detest loud cafes, loud restaurants. And 2 weeks ago, we would have stayed in for more drinks. However, the music was excruciatingly loud, and we had to shout over the table, not all that far from each other, and I could not take it anymore. And I've walked out a couple of places recently. I bought musicians' earplugs to go into some places now. It's horrible. Then I found something extraordinary on the internet. It's called Pipe Down. It's a website called Pipe Down, and the head of it is Stephen Fry. Joanna Lumley's on it, and it's all about piped music. Joanna Lumley quote said, "I have walked out of shops because the music was too loud and I never bought anything." Stephen Fry had his quotes as well. Now, Pipe Down, the organisation, £15 a year to join. They will send you out stickers to give quiet cafes, etc., so people know it's a quiet place. They also target areas. They went to Gatwick Airport, got them involved, and they've done a survey. 43% of people hated the piped music. 34% were okay, and the rest, I can't remember what they said. Gatwick took it seriously, and they took the music off. They've done it with Marks and Spencer's, and they've done it with many more places. And that's the reason why. People with tinnitus, etc., they've no choice, and they go in. So that's what's happening. In Scotland, they've got an affiliate. It's called Quiet Corner. Okay, and I will be joining. But the reason it's called Quiet Corner, because people might have thought it was bagpipes, and people love their bagpipes up here. Although somebody annoyed me in Glasgow the other week when I was trying on the phone in the area. So that's it. It's called Pipe Down. Get involved if you've got hearing problems. Get involved and let the cafes know you're not enjoying it, because that's what I'll be doing. And unfortunately, one of them was my customer, so I will get Pipe Down or Quiet Corner, whatever, to write a letter to them so they don't know it's me complaining. Speak up. Speak up. Be heard. Do your bit.
You're too loud, Peter. Too loud.
Now, what's your comments on that then?
I don't mind, but I can take your point totally. Yeah. Right. Well, to use Fonz's phrase, I have to pop off now.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So,
is your appointment II?
yeah, I've got. It's the post-op to see if I can have the second op. The second op is due July 19th. So today is just to check to make sure that I'm good to go. In other words, the first one that was done is okay, and I can have the second one. So I should be able to see totally clearly, hopefully by about the end of July.
Instead of 50% clearly. Because I've only had one day. I suppose you must still have some from the other eye, so you must have more than 50% of clear vision.
Oh God, I can see the screen perfectly now. I can read. I can actually read.
I'll have to go.
Yeah, we've got to go. Take care. We'll see you.
Hello,
John. Close the show, please, quickly.
Goodbye.
I'm just turning.